Okay, guys, so we are go already live. So on YouTube for those who want to follow up on YouTube. All right. So yesterday we covered a number of things. We covered SharePoint. We started a kind of an overview on SharePoint. Then we also look at Teams. Then we looked at the Purview, and then of course the security. I mean, we look at several features they have that is future promise in terms of what we're likely going to be doing. Today, we'll do a little bit depth on a few items, and then, of course, before we call it a day, knowing fully well that, of course, the advanced class will have enough time to explore them. You know, the advanced class is the beginner's class is more like an introductory class, while the advanced class give us opportunity to actually have one-on-one troubleshoot deeply, you know, in every. Then of course, by the time you get to the expert or the last class is more like a scenario based, which is, you are going to be more like a professional. But of course, from the advanced class, you can start planning yourself in terms of job. But I'm just going to give a hint for those people who felt, oh, you know what? Let me try my luck, or I have a little background or so, whatever it is. I'm still going to introduce job search at this level because getting job requires a lot of things. But at least you start from you preparing your resume, and you prepare your resume. Of course, when we get to the advanced class, there's a level in which we are going to go in preparing your resume. We are going to not just only ask you to prepare a copy of resume, we are going to review it. We are going to look at the content. We are going to, do an interview, in-house interview, prepping, and a whole lot of things will be involved when it comes to the advanced class. However, for this class, I'm still going to just show you that, oh, you know what are the things you need, to get an entry-level job? Maybe just few things. So I'm going to be starting with that. However, before then, we're going to do a kind of a tax, knowledge check. Let's put it that way, knowledge check. So the knowledge check is more of like just what exactly is the understanding. So I know some people are just joining. If you missed it, well, I may not be able to repeat myself much, but the basic things I'm just telling you is which I'm also going to be showing anyway. So let me just start off with sharing my screen, and then we can start off with the business for today. All right, so let's do the knowledge check first. Right, so on the knowledge checks, we have, let me put it this way. I'm not sure if you are seeing my, yeah, on the knowledge test quiz 5. So we would, the first one says, with SharePoint, I can create both communication and the team sites. Is it true or false? True or false? You can drop your comment, true or false. With SharePoint, I can create communication site and team site. We all know what communication site and team site with SharePoint we talked about yesterday. Yes, true. We can create with SharePoint, we can create both sites because we have a team. You have two types of SharePoint site, which is team site and also communication site. Second one is I can share file internally and externally using SharePoint or OneDrive. Can you do that? True or false? Can you share internally or externally? True. You can share internally and externally. We talked about guest account. Remember when we talked about guest account, that you can provide access to somebody external, and then the person can have the same. Now, the only thing is that we all know that they are different. Why one is more like a group, the other one is personal, which is OneDrive is personal to you. That's your own drive. While the SharePoint is the drive that combines a group, and then it has a URL where people can actually like more like a website, internal website. So it's true. Now, Purview is a compliance-related features that helps organizations with data governance. We talked about data governance. Is it true or false? Purview is a compliance-related features or portal, whichever way we can put it, that help organization help with data governance. Is it true or false? True or false? Uh, let me read the comment a little bit. True or false? And for those who might want to give me some idea. Yeah. So for the Purview, 5 is true. 5 is true. 5 is true. It is true. Then let's go to the other one. Now the LP, DLP, which is data loss prevention. I put it that way, kind of confusing it. Now, does not help organizations to keep data safe. Is it true or false? DLP does not help organization to keep data safe. This is false. Yes, DLP does help organization to keep data safe. So the statement is not true. So it's false. DLP does help, does not. The word does not means it makes it wrong. Does help organization to keep safe. So in this case, it is false. Team chat is the only way to collaborate. Number 7, team chat is the only way to collaborate in Microsoft Teams. Is it true or false? 7, true or false? Team chat is the only way to collaborate in Microsoft Teams. The answer is false. Team chat is not the only way to collaborate. We have team channels, like I mentioned. We have team chats. We have 2 major parts, team chats and team channels. We'll talk about it also. The last part, security, which is, in this case now, we are referring to Microsoft Defender for Office 365. Policy is vital to control the security features. True or false? Because I believe everybody should answer no this one. Number 8 here is true. Yes, security is vital to control the security features for that. So that's been said. So I'm going to just let's quickly go to the items we have for today. I hope some of the answers are okay. True. False. Yes. So false 7. Okay, which have validated some of our answers. All right. So let me bring this one now. So we're going to quickly just run through what we have, for today. Let me see if I can admit all. Sorry, we have. I need to give someone a. So we have today. We don't really have much today, other than just go through what we have yesterday and just for the case of clarity, we talk about job, when you're coming in, that we want to make sure that, one of the reasons why we are setting this up is for people to be gainfully employed. And I also know that, well, I'm a very free person. Um, I wish and I wanted everyone here to go for the next class, because people are not going to teach you based on the knowledge sake. And they're not going to you're not going to do your interview based on what you know. They are going to your interview is going to be based on your technical abilities. If we tell me, oh, what is team? I said, oh, teams is this, use for collaborations and all that. Then they will ask you, how do you configure this? How do you do this? That's where the difference is. At this point, you all know what it is. You are, some of you already practicing for those who have an account. but some to a point, you still need to get more deeper into it. So we're going to just go through this, as part of your build. By now, I expected that even if you are going to go into an advanced class, start building your resume. Build your resume by the side. And then if you're going to get the certificate from us, to make sure they start building your resume, because what it means is that, so that's when we're going to look at account decommission. If you have an account, a trial account, I expect that make sure you deactivate the account so that you don't get paid. But for those who have an account with us, they will continue to practice at least for the next 2 weeks. Now, if they are going to continue with us, they don't need to bother to it, because the same account they are going to use continuously at least to the end of the program. So they don't need to, they just continue with it. So, and then of course we talk about SharePoint permission. We did the third SharePoint. We also talk about a little bit of Teams and data loss prevention under Purview. And then we're also going to use under security, we are going to use Explorer, and also going to look at policies under security as well. So let's take a look at this. Now, on the job part, the first thing that I want us to take a look at on the job part, like I said, continue to rebuild your resume. At this level, what you can do is more like an entry level professional. What can you do? I can do this. I can do, based on the practice for this, is an entry level. And then, of course, you might need reference as an organizations and all that and all that. Of course, if you get a certificate from us, then of course you get a reference. You can use it as a reference, so that's not going to be a problem. If you also want us to, for those who are going to be doing that, of course, this is just preparing us in general, whether you're going for advanced class and all that, where you need a reference. Because what it means is, first you need something that will tie us together with your certificate. If you are going to be going for the next class and you don't need something, that's fine. You can still reference. You can use yours as a reference as where you participated, or you did an assignment, or you did a contract job, or whatever it is that you can do. Because at the end of the day, the companies would like to know, oh, where have you worked before, this and this and this and this. So this is going to be a discussion with you and the program manager anyway. So, and there are the job portals, and of course there are jobs there that you can search as office admin, 365 admin, of office 365 help desk. Those are, like I said, they are entry level job that you can do. Now let's go to classwork. So we talked about this already. Account decommission. If you have an account that you have, like I also mentioned before, that you created under Microsoft free trial license, the first thing I want you to do is, when it gives you about 3 or 1 month trial, I think you can extend it to maybe like another 1 month. Immediately after you finish, or you are very close to, first thing you do is you remove all the license. Possibly, if you want to keep that line tenant, you can still keep the tenant for your testing. Anytime you want to, you just pay for one license, you can use it for whatever it is. But if you are using our account, like a developer account, of course, again, you're free to use it at least for the next 2 weeks if you are using. So practice, 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 practice. And then, of course, before we go, so I think if you are going to be continue with us, you are going to continue using the account until we finish. So you don't need to, if you are going to continue with us. Now, so I'm going to leave that. So let's quickly jump into SharePoint. Let's talk about SharePoint sharing and permission. So basically, so that's what we're going to go into. So we go to SharePoint sharing. So we have I'm going to start with this. So this is our environment. This is 0S5 ST on Microsoft environment, and then we go to SharePoint. So we have scenarios here that you can practice it. So you can create, because everyone who has account on this environment, for instance, they can create groups, they can create whatever it is that we are talking about, we're practicing. they can create all that. Okay, so I'm going to go to, let me go to the, oh, okay, we are on admin center. So admins. Okay, we have SharePoint. So this is SharePoint, and then we have sites. Let's say we are going to, excuse me, let's say we are going to this is one of the, somebody created a group, M35 group, which is fine. Now let's say we are going to this, and then you could see here, with this group, you could see what are the membership. You see the membership. Let's start from here. The owners of this site, this and this. Now, the owner, I mean, you can look at the setting here to also know what other things, if you want to let people, what's it called? Let people from outside the organization to be able to have access to this. We talk about a guest account. Then in that case, you will enable this setting. Then also, we can also make this either private or public. If you make it private, it means that you have to make a request. If you make it private, you see, for instance, okay, you can make it private or public. That's one. Public means that people within this organization can join, right? Can, just as if they just join, as long as they feel. But if you make it private, you have to add them manually. Now, this one, this other setting is if you want to make somebody outside the organization to have access, in most time by default, this is not checked. Why? Because you don't expect, except in some cases where there are projects, two companies are trying to work together or trying to merge or something. In that case, you have to make sure. Now, okay, so again, if you also want them to be getting every event, whatever is going on, you want to be getting notification, which I believe be a distraction, because there are so many activities going on there. So except that maybe this particular site that you don't, that are really being used, and then you want to know if any activity is going on the site. That's why. So that's why it's always so. And also, it said don't show Teams email address in Outlook, because is an email he has his own. Can you see he has email, he has Teams, he has sites. So all of them is a majorly collaboration. So you don't want that to happen. So this one is always checked by default, so that it should not be causing nuisance on your mailbox. We don't want that to happen. That's what you see by default. However, this can be changed. Also, you could also see there's a share file externally. There are options. Now, is it that anyone? Is it existing guest user? It means if they're already in your, that can allow. If another new person is trying to come in as a guest, it's not going. Only people, or you can just shut the door completely. I don't even want anybody to even. So even if you are giving the access here, when people put this only people in this organization, anybody that's trying to give access to this will not work. So that is your setting. Now, activities are here. General are just informations about this. The primary email for these sites, which everybody is tied to everybody's that's using. Then, of course, on the membership, we have the owner who will be the one to add people or approve people to join this group. And then, of course, we have the members. All the members of this group are this. Then we have the site admin. Now, the site admin by default is this thing. So what it basically is that you can enjoy, you can be a member, but you can, like I said, you can have several sites, and then maybe you have different portions of sites. So if you want to have people that are going to be working on the site, making changes and all that, this is where you have them. And then we have what called the site owners. If you want to give them, this is a general maybe on the site level. This one is on the decent level, on the what's it called? On the general creation level. On the site level, you have the site admins, then you have the site owner, who of course also manage, the site, the ownership of each of the sites. Then site members, this also, they're like on the site level. Now you can imagine, from the very top, it's coming down to sites. The first thing is sites and the members, and the next thing is that site admins, site owners, site members. Then of course the next level is the visitors, site visitors. We can also add that one. So these are part of what you can use. The only way to do it is also to practice. Because of our time, we'll not be able to do major, because you have to practice it. You have to check different users, sign in with different users, see what they are going to see. All those T accounts is part of what you are going to do. Try to use all those T accounts to check in each one of them. If you give one user this, what is this seeing when it comes to check this? If you give another user another permission, what is this seeing when you get it? So you might have to, if you want to create your own user, that's fine. Create your own separate teams, that is fine. We can create unlimited, as many you can. For those who are using this, you can create your own site and then practice with any of those T accounts, one of those test accounts, then you'll be fine. So that is one part. So on that level, we already talked about the hierarchy yesterday, the hierarchy of those test accounts. So that's it. So sites is sites. We have the from the top, which is the owner of the member of the site itself, and then on the steady site level, we have the admin. So what it means that you can have multiple sites that is tied to just one. So that's what it means. So in most cases, people that are members will also be the people that are members on the site. If you have just one site that is tied together, in most cases, people that are owner here, people that are site owners, because it will come down the same way in most cases. So, but that's just what it is. And of course, you can also learn more about the site permission here to give you more understanding of all that you need to do. So you can see here the difference and all that you need. So it's there already, where you can do what you can do, the capability, the guests, and then you see documentations here. You too should to go and read through all this documentation. All right. So that being said, so we have, and then of course more sites in Teams and also in site. So we have all those documentation that can give you the idea. All right, and more so that you can practice and practice and practice with it. All right. So the next one, we're going to talk about Teams Admin Center, Teams users channels. We did talk about the team user a little bit by showing you what a team chat is and a team. Now let's go to the back end. The back end. Yeah, I think we also touched base with on the back end yesterday. Let's talk about Teams under the admin center. All right, so we have so the users, we know it's the same users we talked about, and then the teams. So this is what you use to control the team staff. Now, most times, what you do basically is to control the policies that is a policy that controls the way the behaviors everybody that's working within the organization. Now, we all know this is applicable to almost on our Enter ID and all that. Now the teams. Hold more minutes. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. So manage teams, because by the time we get into this area, we are good. That's why we're digging into more policies. So manage teams. This is your team's channels. Whatever it is that have to do with your team's channels. This is your team's channels. And then you can manage teams. When you open here, you will see different teams. And you see different teams. And then you see how active they are, the number of people that are using it, and all that. You will see active teams. What kind of the standard teams or this? So you see the private channel teams. So you see them here, right? So that being said, so we see all these teams and they can manage it. Now you can manage in the sense that if I open this, what are the settings can I do? Of course, I can make a change, because as an administrator, even if you are not an owner of this site, you can really come here and manage it and change the properties of that site. And then you have an overriding power, for whoever holds the site. And you can make change here. Excuse me. So you can make changes here. So that is just the way you can manage teams in terms of. And then not only that, you can see here, you can manage, then you can also add owners to the team. That's under members. Channels. The channels on these teams. Now I'm going to give you an example. This is one team's channels. Again, it will come with a general, but inside this teams, or we call it, so the first thing that is called is channel general. It will be created by default. However, you can create multiple channels under that same teams. It means that you can create more channels. So when you're creating the teams, it comes one with the first general channels, and then you can now add more. I'm going to show you. Let's look at this now. I have these teams. So you see they come with general. Well, what if I want to create, additional, listen, I can add channels. See, I can add members who can control, who can have access to this thing. I can add channels to this thing. And then the setting of the setting, just like what you saw in the other one. If I'm the owner, I can be able to manage the team. So for the person who is an admin, now I'm a user here. For this admin, they can do everything and more. They can even set policy, but I cannot do that on this level. I will need Teams privilege to be able to do that. And that's why you were seeing, and that's why you will see that, oh, you mean this person, when clicking of this, it can actually manage these teams and all that. And then you can also see the setting, make changes on the settings and all that. Almost everything that someone can do, we'll be able to do that. That's on the teams, right? So I will leave it at this point, because there are so many to cover in the team settings, teams policies, and which we are going to be putting for the next class, because we have to monitor everything. But that doesn't mean that if you have this, you cannot go through. You can go through policies. You don't need to change it. You could see the default policy. You can create more policies. But in this case, just leave it as it is. You can create your own teams and then create more policies. And you could see the default policy will give you global-wide policy. Global-wide policies, and you can see all these things there. All right. So that being said, so we're going to be going to Purview. Okay, Microsoft Purview. Okay, so this is what, excuse me. So this is what we have on Microsoft Purview, and then on the Purview, we want to take a look at DLP on the Purview. They are all important. They are all component features. You could see many of these, solutions that are here. So there are several solutions that are here. So, but this one, we would be looking at the DLP, which is data loss prevention. Now, in data loss prevention, there are a number of things I will just want to point out to us. So, what makes the data loss prevention works for everyone is the policy. You see the policy part, you see the alert part, you see the classifier, you see the explorer. Now, the alert is the way you configure in such a way that if we have a policy in place, I think we don't really have one, so we might just need to probably create one now. So we don't really have one. Say go to DLP policy page. Okay, so we have an overview. Okay, so we have classifier. Let's start with the alert. Generally, before I go on classifier, the alert generally is you are supposed to have something, if an action is done, then it should alert you. But first, you must have a policy in place. When you have a policy in place, then you can trigger alerts and said, okay, for every report on this policy, send me a report or send me something. That's an alert. So, but then how do we start? How do we get this DLP? The first thing you need to see here is that you will have to look at the what we call the classifier before we go to classifiers. Classifiers are a kind of the major ones. Yeah, this one I think EDM now. EDM, this one is going to be paid for. The EDM is more of an AI. The ones that I think trainable classifier 2 also, I think is also born from AI too. I'll check that. So, but the ones that we're going to be paying more attention to is this sensitive information type. Now, why is it, we're paying attention to this? Number one, it comes by default. When you click it, you see it comes by default. And the default there is that, we are trying to prevent, let's say we want to prevent information leak. And the first thing we know, what are the information we want to prevent? Now, the information type, sensitive information type, provide the opportunity for you to create your sensitive information type. Now, why is it sensitive? It's like this. If I'm typing something, I'm just typing something, I want to send it to a friend outside the organization, and I'm typing something. In between what I type, I just put in credit card. And I wanted to send it. What happened is that there is an agent that is reading all my email that I don't know. So immediately I want to send it out, it will just prompt you say, no, you cannot send this. Why? Because of that word that you use and say credit card. And the only reason why it is sensitive is because here, everything that you see ABA routing. This is the bank account. This is more like how to detect the bank account number. You will see that they have several of those based on Australia, US, Azure, SAS, like that. So we have all this Canada passport number. So you can imagine that this same information, how sensitive it is that if you are typing a Canadian, it has its own, every country has its unique way of typing their code. Immediately you are typing something similar to that, what do you think will happen? It will flag you. It's, and said you cannot send anything to this person because this. And then not only that, you would if you also set up an alert, alert can come into whoever set up that policy, and then the person will get that somebody is trying to send a report. And in most cases, organization put those things in place so that number one, they know that you're working. Two, you are not trying to get information out of the organization through by emails. So this sensitive comes handy by default for Microsoft. However, can you create more? Yes, you can create more yourself. You can create more, by just saying create sensitive information type. Yeah, so, and then you create the information type and then you define it. Let's say I want PII. I want this thing. Anywhere anybody is typing my name, right? Even though we are not going to get into implementation at this stage. Anyone who is typing my name and just say, let me label it so that I will know. PI and then description. Anybody type it, info sensitive info to recognize the word this. So if somebody within the at least one permission is required, okay. One pattern is required. Okay, high confidence, the word. Anywhere in the document, I'm just saying, I'm going to delete this one so that within the document and then add primary element is going to be keyword. Should be case sensitive, yeah, and all that. Enter the keyword. Okay. Keyword name, case sensitive, enter the word separated by a line. Either they write it this way, either they write it, whichever way they write it. Let's say they write it this way. You get, there's so many ways to kill a skin a cow. So, so whichever way they write it, you know, case sensitive, keyword separated by each line, you know, whichever way they write it, I will just put it different way, for instance, and then anywhere they have in that. So I put the pattern there, and then the next thing I say high confidence. So, and then create. So basically, what we're trying to do is that if somebody is typing that word and they want to send it out, whatever way they write it, you know, whatever way they write it, you see it's here. Now it's going to be, now this is just the information that you want to use for your DLP. This is not the DLP itself. It's just elements that it's going to use to detect. So if I'm now going to be creating my DLP, what I will now do is this. I will now create my DLP policy. I will now say in my policy, I want to make sure that everybody within this organization, they should be able to detect, I mean, every document user should be able to detect my my name, even though my name is not, I'm not asking them to use my name for anything. Now, that's where we are going now. So now we've looked at this, we look at the alert. Now let's go into the policy. Now we have a default policy, which is priority of 0, which is default policy. Now inside this policy, if you go to this policy, you will see this policy is on. So all accounts. So this policy will act on all accounts, will act on this. Okay, no problem. Let's check the second one. Okay, so let's create our own new DLP policy now. Now we want to try that. So now we want to have what we want to protect. Is it that we want to protect a traffic, which is just maybe by the, but this what we want to protect is the data, include enterprise applications and this. The data is what you want to prevent, not like a web link or traffic or whatever it is. So, and then I will now say, okay, so because this is my, this is the thing. So you now create a template category. So number one, where do you want me? Where is this going to be happening? Is it going to be happening in United States alone? Okay. Or yeah, in this United States, is it related to financial? This is I say put it on privacy. Now, in privacy, what kind of this thing that actually you see US personified is a PII. I mentioned PII, which is a law regulation that's actually tied to this. Then I will say, okay, next. So because there may have to be justification. So US partner identify blah 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 the name. So I can the policy that I'm trying to build is suggested this one for me. PII to identify PII. So PII next. Now, then the next, of course, I would need to know with this PII, I need to know what should it act on? Every of their documents, whether it's they are trying to send you, they're trying to send things to each other, they mention my name. You know what? I want to know what's going on. Just don't allow them. I'm going to remove that. So you remember I said sensitive. That is what is going to be used. But here we are using what's it called? We are now creating the policy itself. The policy is actually what helped prevent it. But the item that you use is you add that item to it. We are still going to get there. So that items are the components that we are going to use that that we are going to use to actually enforce the policy. At this time, the folder hasn't supported DLP policies. Okay, on premises. Okay, I think I selected on premises, so I'm removing the on premises here. So, and then again, it gives me all the say actually review that this is what's going to come up with. Then I said, and the DSC create a customized advanced DLP rule. Do you style you want to use the default template? This is the default template, but I want to use customize. Okay. Okay. Next. Okay. I'll give me the volumes. Okay. The next is giving me show tips when simulation, blah, 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 run the policies in simulation mode. I need to go back. Okay. This is, 1 minute. I think I missed one. Create a customize. Okay. So I'm going to add more rules. Now, I didn't add rules to the rule now is that search so search for Ajayi, right? So now the condition of that rule is contains now use notification and inform this incidents. Let's see. Add so add sensitive information type. Then I will add this one. So I'm saying, I can use just only this without actually doing this. Okay, but this is search for this. And then what I needed is just to do this. because the sensitive information type is what we created first, remember? And then, of course, we can have many sensitive information type that can be used for it. And then we have here, and all these incidents, you can do all these settings, whatever you want to set. And then you can now save. Now, you see, he has put me the condition, he has put in sensitive information type, and then I can say next. And then, I'm okay with this, and then submit. Now, basically, you created something he's going to be looking for. And you created a policy that will help you, everybody to comply to it. So if anybody within the organization is any of these locations and try to type anything, what do you think will happen? There's something running at the background that is searching for that name. And immediately anybody who is typing that comes through, what do you think will happen? It will catch that person. But I didn't put it that it should alert me. So again, it might not report the person to me, but I can also put it in such a way that that person will alert me, and then I can get the required distance. So I'm going to stop here. I think that's so the policy is created now. It takes a while. It always takes a longer time for it to be created. And then, of course, it can be created and it can be tested. Please. So the policy is created now, and this thing is in process. It's working across all the this thing, and then I can remodify it myself. I can do whatever I want to do with this policy. All right. So I think that is one part. So we've done a lot. So now let's quickly switch to security. We've done, apparently we did some tests last time when we did so on the security part, again, so I bet we can't have all the time, for this one that you have had, we're going to get more deeper when we go into the advanced class. So you have your time, like I always mentioned, and I think I did mention again, the moment you have the skill, you can always negotiate your price. You can always talk to the people because you know it, you have the confidence. So you should always have that at the back of your mind. So let's quickly go to security. Security. So we're going to look at, under security, we want to look at the emails and collaboration. We said that Explorer, we can basically make a whole lot of, you see here, the Explorer can do a whole lot of things. All emails, anything that has to do with phishing and all that, campaigns and all that. But let's just stick to all emails here. And then the sender, in this case, I can use recipient. And then since I think I've used any equal to my name, I can use remember I have so I'm going to see the query here, and I'm going to refresh the query, and then I'm going to refresh the dates. Let's say the dates that the start dates, it's we started quite a while, right? I'm going to refresh. Did I have any emails? Any of these are test accounts. I think I used one of the accounts at some point. Oh, this is not even completed. Sorry. Okay, I got some. See, so it didn't complete a.isa. It's supposed to be so far away. You could see here, I could do a whole lot of things here. I mean, if you just come over here, you see recipient, somebody is sending email and is sending it to this, blah, 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 blah. It gave me all the information. You remember when we tried the mail flow, all those mail flow that we tried that period from the beginning, some of them, you will see them here. it captured everything here. And well, you can also customize the column. I can say, okay, I need this, I need this. I can say, okay, I need the sender IP. I can get a whole lot of information more, and say apply. Then it will make it bigger in terms of what I need to get. Display name, coming from this, you could see it gave me the sender IP in and all that. Whoever is sending it, from my own, is giving me everything. It's giving me all the information that I need. So, and that's what we'll see when we come to security. So there are a lot of things we will do here by the time we get into the advanced class and more, practice and practice and practice with it. And also, I think I did talk about the policy, because those are the two things for now I'm going to introduce you to. And then, of course, we'll get more. Now, when it comes to review, of course, you can do, quarantine. If there's anything that's quarantine, you can work on that. On them, you see them under this quarantine within the organization. And then we can talk about the policy. Again, it's not something I mentioned it a little brief yesterday. The alert policy generally is just something that will trigger, once triggered, and then when based on events. And then so threat policies, these are the ones, if you look at them very well, I'm sure some of you must have seen it did very well. You know that phishing is more of somebody who's trying to impersonate anti-phishing. This you can read more about it for those who are. And then anti-spam is more of somebody who is, trying to spam, sending unwanted messages. How do you protect your organization from getting unwanted messages? Prevent them from getting unwanted messages. Why anti-spam is more of you preventing viruses to come into your environment. Then, of course, viruses can come through attachments, save attachments. So you want by a policy that will first read the attachment first. Once you read the attachment first, and then if there's a malicious things, which is malware now, malicious things within that form, what is it going to do? It's going to do something about it. That's what this policy is saying about. Then on the safe link, sometimes all those guys who does bad things, they can send you some link and then ask you to click on it. So can you imagine if you configure a policy that policy, number one, checks if anybody email is coming to your organization, you want to protect all the users. So, and if the policy realize that, oh, this email is fraud, what do you think that policy should do? To prevent people from opening it or from even getting it. So it will rewrite the policy. To write the URL. And that's the way you're protecting it. So you, as a security person, some of the things you're going to be doing on the advanced class is they're going to be giving you assignments, which are going to be working together. And what it means is you are going to be creating these policies, working with this environment to see how you can best work things out. That comes to the end of the class, guys. So I'm just going to get few items. Is missing in the email use inputs. Only and sound keeps going and coming. At this point, I can't hear anything. Oh, somebody can't hear me. I guess maybe it's your okay, maybe this one is not talking about. So I believe some of these things are recorded. In case you can't, hear me, they are recorded. So I just want to, at this, of course, we've come to the end. I just want to first appreciate the fact that you all make it to the end of the class, and really wish to work with you guys, on one-on-one, on projects, that you guys can really work on, and then, comes through. Before the end, so was there any question, one or two questions? One or two questions?
Okay, sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so I want to ask, when is the advanced class starting, sir?
Yeah, your program manager will communicate to you. I think the first thing is for people who are going to start making commitments for that, the program manager will discuss with you or will communicate with you on when it's going to start. Those ones that want to get their certificates, they will do that. I mean, once they're done, they will let me know, and then they can start. Right.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, thanks so much, everyone. I appreciate all your timing. Bye.